What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if this is your first time here. You guys know how I do, man. Another Kingdom stream. I'm here with Dustin Reacts. What's going on, bro?
What's up, fam? How you guys doing, man? It's a wonderful idea. Ov and I cooked up, live from the battlefield. Like, we're both excited to get this thing started, man.
Yeah, man. Today we should be joined by Laz, Commodore Laz, in case you don't know his channel name. But yeah, today we should be joined by him, but he said he'll be running a little bit late, so we're just gonna start, and then hopefully he'll be able to, catch up with us. So, what is this about? Basically, we're pretty much going to go through, it's kind of like a recap of the first day of war, pretty much. So the first day of the war between the Zhao and the Qin, we're just going to talk about all of the things that have happened, our opinions on it, and then maybe where we think it's going to go from here on out. Anything you want to say, Dustin?
Man, I just want to start off by saying when the moment where we had Riboku pop up out of nowhere and kill Maku, I mean, that was just so shocking, so unexpected. And I just remember One Vision like fucking raging. Like not raging, but like it was like a low rage. And he's kind of still justified because Hara still hasn't explained how Riboku was able to materialize out of thin air to get to Mako. we still got our reporters looking into that. But that was it still doesn't take away from the moment for me, because that was still just like, wow. For Riboku to take personal, this is your army getting your homeland getting invaded. And what more of a statement can you make as a supreme commander, that basically the hero of your homeland, to come out there and kill the opposing invaders, one of their generals, on the first day?
Yourself as well, like personally doing that shit. Like, he could have easily have said, "Oh, the king ain't giving me the troops that I need. Fuck it, I'm out of here." Like, nah, he stuck with it. Like, I actually respect him for that. Like, I really respect him for that. But it's kind of upsetting that Kisui didn't manage to hold his end of the deal, because Hiroki did all of that shit, and now it's all just been undone because, well, not all of it, because obviously you can't bring Mako back from the dead, but the fact that their whole army was meant to be wiped out, but yeah, we didn't.
It's funny you say that though, because Moten essentially did bring Maku back from the dead, even though he's not really back from the dead. That's what.
Say Moten.
Oh shit!
What's going on, guys?
That was the perfect entrance, bro. What's up, Laz?
Wait, guys in chat, real quick. Let me know if you can actually hear everyone, because I know last time when I tested the stream beforehand, and I couldn't really hear Dustin's voice properly. So I can't talk today. Let me know if you guys can hear everybody. Anyway,
you guys are live ready?
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah,
oh shit, it's 3:10. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, how you doing, Laz?
I'm good, man. You know what? I've been thinking about this chapter over again, and I gotta say real quick, man, Moten the GOAT.
Yeah,
so,
for
yeah.
real.
Moten the GOAT, bro. This chapter was fucking beautiful.
For real. So what are your opinions on this chapter then?
Just in general, I mean, like, I know people right off the bat are just saying, Riboku took an L, and honestly, I don't feel like it's an L on his part. It's just that, like, he underestimated Moten just in general. He wasn't expecting this guy to just come out of nowhere and just like foil his whole plot the way he did. Like, he expected, like, okay, I have 30,000 people. I got someone trusted in Kisui who's had probably years of, the experience factor, I think, too, is another thing that comes to mind. Because Moten, like, he's been at this for what, like 5-6 years, probably at best, like at the top level, like for at least like, for his generation. And you wouldn't expect him to pull something like this off. And the fact that, like, going back to like what Ten was saying in this chapter about what Shoei-kun, when he's like, oh, like he can't even measure the guy's potential. Like, that's scary, man. If you can't measure his potential now, imagine what we're gonna see in this series, bro. Like,
exactly. For Shoei-kun, of all people, to say that as well, like, because he's not only one of the smartest people, but he was gifted as a warrior as well. Like, they were even saying that he was stronger than Mobu back in his day. Like, holy shit, for him, of all people, to not be able to predict where you would go, like, that's the biggest compliment. That is seriously the biggest compliment.
Definitely.
Someone asked what my Discord is. I actually don't have a Discord. I'm using Dustin's at the moment. I'll post a link to that in the chat though.
Hey.
I don't really have it.
Yeah. And then, like, what's the other thing I can think of from the chapter? I mean, like, I ain't gonna lie to you. If someone showed me like the raw, where it showed, like, because apparently from what Darkseid told me is that the raws, they had like the little image of Moten on the floor, and I'm thinking, yo, if someone spoiled me that And I'm like thinking the whole day, is my boy dead?
Yeah.
Like,
That
oh my
scared
god,
me.
man.
That really scared me. Like,
It did.
seriously
I had a
scared me.
heart attack. I had a heart attack. I'm like, no, Hara, please don't.
That's the
It
thing.
wasn't until I saw Sup. Until I saw Sup, the little bubble, I'm like, oh my god, thank God.
That's the
Well,
thing.
I
Like,
was
I
watching.
don't. Oh, go on.
I was watching Laz's live reaction, bro. That was the greatest moment because you seen the terror in Laz's face when you could see, you knew what panel he was reading, and like, he was like, and then you seen the relief just come over him when he realized. He was like, "Oh my god,
Bro, my heart stopped, yo. Yeah, he was like, oh, it just went back to normal. Thank God. Oh my God.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
the
dope,
thing though.
bro.
Like,
That
I don't
Matt
even
Hara.
like Moten as much as you do. Like, I love Moten's character. Don't get me wrong, but I know
Yeah.
you of all people love Moten, right? So
Yeah.
if I had a heart attack, I could only imagine what you were going through, man.
Yeah, it's like the only thing I can compare it to is, let's say something happened to Kyokai. But let's be
Yo,
honest, though,
yeah.
and I think if anything happened to Kyokai, all of us would be turned up.
Bro,
Like,
Yeah.
what?
I would
Like,
never
Yeah.
watch
Hara
Kingdom again.
Hara,
I
yeah,
would-
Hara's not making it to the next day. Like, you know, I'll end the story right now. Like,
Yo, speaking of Kyoka though, I love how she gets so much hype every time she even says anything. Like, she just
Yeah.
speaks so much fucking facts. It's unbelievable. She's the GOAT, man. I don't care what anybody
definitely.
I like how she broke down the plan, and then I like how Oda added. I mean, not Oda. What the fuck? What am I? I like
says.
how.
That's
Hara-
blasphemy, bro.
Should be Oda.
we so used to talking One Piece all the time
Yeah,
that just
yeah.
come out
Yeah.
inadvertently. But I like how she broke down the plan, and then it just shows you how much of a genius she is. At the end of it, she says probably. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not 100%, sure that's what he's doing, but
Yeah,
that's
'cause it was never
probably
told
what
to
he's
her.
doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Never
and
told
she
her.
just
It's funny though. Like, how was she knowing the plan better than the person that the plan was told to? Like, Shin, bro. Like, this nigga told you, and you forgot already.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shit is such an idiot, bro. But you love him.
He nearly,
Yeah, 'cause
he
I
nearly
think
fucked
Odd's
up the whole
character.
thing for Moten. You know, he nearly fucked up
Yeah.
everything.
Bro, that's what had me dying because I remember the little thing. Remember the little panel
Little
where it shows like
face.
Moten in the background where
Yeah.
he's like, you got it, right? And I'm just like, this guy just wants to fuck it up. He wants to fight. Like, oh,
Like,
man.
no, like I know you, Shin. Don't get in. Even and then Moten was surprised. He was still.
Yeah.
He knew he told Moten. He knew he told Shin
Yeah.
what to do, but he was like, "Well, I'm still surprised it went that smoothly."
Yeah.
But
like,
what hurts me inside a bit too is that if we had an anime for Kingdom, do you understand how much more funnier these little moments would be just hearing these
Yeah.
characters' voices?
yeah.
Like I can imagine like the music in the background stuff, all these guys just joking around in a serious time. Like,
It's not only that though, look, but could you imagine how dope these last few scenes would have been? Like, cause oh man, I don't even want to think about it because it's just gonna get me upset that we don't have an anime. But could you imagine like the scene after, when it comes back and then like Moten's just lying on the ground, right? And then you
Yeah.
have like Moten saying, "Oh, so Keith, we finally left." Like, I love the way Hara did that because he off-screened the battle, but he still gave us a way to know like how it went down in a sense, because like he told us that Kisui refused to run, like it was a hard fought battle, right? Could you imagine them doing that in the anime and showing like little clips of Kisui fighting his hardest, Moten fighting his hardest? Like that shit would have been so dope, man.
it would,
That
yeah,
would've been so
like
dope.
like a little clash, like the horses are about to come together, and then just goes into the sundown part after. Like that would be crazy.
Yeah. I saw some people in the chat earlier saying that they wish Hara never off-screened it. I kind of agree, but I understand why
Yeah.
he did it, because when you think this is still the first day and like he needed a
Yeah.
way to wrap up the day, and if he had done it like showing every little bit of the battle, I don't think it would have ever ended, to be honest with you, especially if Osen then came and did something as a counter attack. Like yeah,
this was so long ever first day so far.
Yeah.
And it was like so much going on. It was like, when is it going to? It had to end because it felt like this was supposed to be the first day, but it felt like it was like the fifth or sixth.
Yeah.
All of the plays that were happening. So like one person just said, you had to like wrap it up, or it would like never end. If people kept making play after play, I mean, you have to go to the next day. You have to save something for the rest of the war. But I mean, it was just so amazing, bro, just to see what not for only Moten to come up with this strategy, but to actually go out there and give every last ounce that he had to make it pull off to work to the point where he's like lying on the ground, not even conscious. I mean, that was just I literally, if you watch my reaction, I literally clapped when I read the chapter.
So did I. Did I.
I literally clapped. I had to give it up, bro. I was like, man,
That's
heart, this
crazy.
is great.
Definitely, man.
Amazing
I mean, like the
chapter.
only thing I can understand why people are upset, because if you remember back in the bio arc, right, the first night when it ended, when Shin with the flying arrow he took out Fuki, right?
Mm.
Like that's like the only thing I can see. Like it's like all that build up, and then we get a little something. So it's not like we're setting up, and then there's like nothing at the end of it. Even though like this was still a mass general on the first day.
Oh
Yeah.
fuck! My stream just went down. Hold on.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I apologize everyone. The stream just went down for a couple seconds. It should be back now though, right? Let me know if you guys can see.
Yeah, I think it's still up. Yeah. Hold on.
Kind of did miss out on a bunch of things because we got the whole right battlefield, we got the whole Yatama battlefield.
I mean,
that
but
all at the same
We
time.
could still see that though, because
Yeah, I believe we will.
the way I see it is they're all gonna have like a meeting in the tent now, right? And I think that's where everything's gonna get explained. Like that's where we're gonna see Osen's reaction. And I know Dustin, you were upset that we didn't get to see Osen's reaction, right?
Yeah, I was just kind of like bewildered, I guess. I always wanted to
Yeah.
use that word in a sentence.
I wanted
But,
to talk about that too, actually, with Olsen, because I wanted to like
Yeah.
there's a change of words. And like, when I told you before, like in terms of trust, that was the wrong word to use. I think it was assurance, and that was the word you used before. Like I think he was more assured of like, because remember he planned like if we go back to like before the arc started, right? He planned out all the stuff with the food supplies and all that kind of things, right? So I think when he was setting up like when he was sitting down and those people were fighting, I think he thought that far ahead. It's like, okay, if something happens with Moten, I'll send Mako. If something happens with Mako, I can figure that this kid's gonna try and figure something out to get out of the situation. Like I think he was like it's not more to be his trust, but he was assured that his plan wouldn't fail, even if he were to lose a guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So wait, other stuff in the arc, right? So this is meant to be like I think you missed it when I said this, but like a whole day one recap kind of thing. So we talk about everything
Yeah.
that went down in day one. Apart from what happened just now, because I'm pretty sure this is going to be your favorite. What was your favorite moment in day one, apart from today?
Let me think, man. This is gonna be tough. Wow, there's a lot because easily the one thing that comes to mind. It's not even a Moten. On what's up with Shinsuiju when we got the confirmation that like he speaks the tongue of the Xionghu, which we can almost confirm he has to be part of the tribe.
Yeah.
Like there's no way he just has
Oh,
that like
yeah.
that
There's no way
language,
you just
right?
learned that, yeah.
Yeah, I think like that chapter itself, and then getting to see the people from Ryoyu, which I mean for history and stuff, that's amazing. Like these are the guys that part of the dynasty and stuff, right? For the Zhao dynasty. So like, we're seeing like the people that caused this era that we're in right now.
Yeah, exactly. And the
So,
fact that they were foreshadowed so far back in the story, like what was it, chapter 20 or something like that? That they
18 or
were
20,
mentioned?
it's one,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. Yeah.
That's crazy. What about you, Dustin?
Man, when Laz brought it up, bro, it's so much. Now it's like, damn. Because the most shocking moment to me was when Renboku killed Mako.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then when Shinsuiji pulled up in front of Yatama with her own men strapped to the back of his
Yes.
horses, snapped his fingers to show his authority that he has over his own men before they would do anything to her men. They killed him. Then for her to point at them like, yeah. And then just dip and head right back into the war and fight all the way to the other. Like, bro, that was so dope. Like, my respect went up for that man just right off of that. But then I liked when Yatama came and was overmatched, but then she came and decided to make something happen and climbed up the hill and did the 5-arrow volley and then was able to destroy the people that tried to come up the hill to take it from her. When she just did the same feat that they were trying to do, she destroyed them from doing it. Like it was his first day was actually pretty epic,
It
bro.
was amazing.
It was.
Yeah, I'd agree with that though. Like I think the whole Shinsuiji and Yotama shit was my favorite because I want to see Yotama get mad. Like I just want to see her go full force, nothing holding her back. Like I'm excited for that shit. Like and then Shinsuiji's got balls, bro, because he was in the middle of her troops. Like he wasn't like behind him wasn't his troops because they were fighting, right? So like he came up behind the enemy lines, taunted her, and then ran off. Like, do you know how risky that shit is? They could have turned on him so easily. Like it was so risky. Someone said that their favorite moment of day one is either Ohan and Arko or the Moten shit. I feel like Ohan didn't get enough. Well, I wouldn't say he didn't get enough shine on day one, but I don't feel like we focused enough on that for me to call it one of my favorite moments.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see a situation where like maybe day 2 belongs to his moment and stuff, and then like we go day 3 can go to Yotanwa and whatever happened was at Kanki, because like I don't know, man. That's the thing that I'm most interested in because like with the days passing, I feel like Kanki might have already taken you by this point. It's just now it's like the getting to the steps of how he did it. You know,
That's crazy. You actually think they'll off screen him taking Gyo?
I see it's weird because like I kind of talked about this with Darkseid and with Draco, because you remember how there was a thing where before we left with Conky, there was like what 2,000 men or something that were coming his way,
Yeah.
like towards them, right? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, it makes sense that they can try and infiltrate them like using like their gear and stuff, but what Draco and Darkseid were saying is like we see a situation where they pretend like they're them, right? And like we're in the gear and they're killing their own men, and they would bring the bodies of some of their own dead comrades, either in the clothing of like the Conky army, and that's
Mhm.
what their way to get passage into Gyu. And from there, that's where they start going inside and like causing havoc afterwards, like going assassination missions, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so
Basically, some shit Conky usually does all the time, like his usual
yeah, pretty
strategy.
much.
He just steps it up pretty much like to the next level, which we should expect like Conky to do stuff like this. It's just like how much more creative can he get?
So if you feel like he's already taken it, what do you think he's going to be doing on the second day then?
I joke about this, but I think he's going raw on top of he's going raw on top of some chick. We're gonna go back with like all of them. And he's just chilling, man. That's what I think. I'm being honest, because I can't see him like, because the thing is like the whole thing is we get well, he could take Gyu and then maybe backtrack to Retsubi and try and open up the supply lines, unless we figure out what the thing was Osen said. Because maybe if they were to get Gyu within a shorter time, then he can send Conky back to Kin to try and open up the lines and then bring in more supplies afterwards. So
Yeah.
it kind of depends, yeah.
I completely forgot about this. Someone mentioned the Arrow brothers. I forgot their names though.
Oh, Jin and Tan,
Yeah, Jin and Tan,
Mhm.
that's it.
Soljin and Sultan, yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think they're going to be used for in the future? Because we saw them once and we just never saw them again. I don't.
This arc.
Yeah.
I think when we meet Siakun, I think his name is the one of the 10 bows. I
Yeah.
think we're gonna see them fight. Look, I love Jin. Jin's the homie. I just have this weird feeling Hara might actually kill him off just to start building up with Tan.
I would hate that so much.
Yeah, I
I-
would.
I-
prefer
I would
Jin
too.
to Tan. I prefer
I would.
Jin to Tan.
That not to mention too, like like I don't want it to, just the fact that like we already had that with Shin and Piao, right? So like I feel like there's no
Yeah.
need to like have a repeat of that. Like
Exactly.
just let them grow as their own. Like you can have 2 men in the 10 Bulls of China. You don't have to like just focus on one. You know?
Do you know how OP that would be for 2 Tenbos of China in the fucking Haishin unit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
that was too spooky, man.
That would be serious.
But then it makes sense for the end of the series when we face Chu, because then you have Kyo-En, the guy who's with Rempa's crew, and then you have Haku Ai,
Yeah.
or I forgot the other guy's name, but the guy was with Kuyoku and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, I wouldn't want Jen to die. I hope they would. I'd rather see them both
I want to
stay
see
and
them
grow.
both succeed, innit?
Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah.
Because like even with this Hugh and Shin stuff, like rereading Kingdom, like you really feel their relationship before he died. Like you feel it a lot more when you reread Kingdom, because like you go in with that knowledge of already seeing everything that Shin has done for him, like for their dream. Like it's just it's a whole different dynamic than when you read it the first time, and it just seems like 2 kids just fighting, like with some childish dream that will never come true. Like he's making it, like he's actually doing that shit. Like I actually really wish he was there to see it as well, because having both of them would have been crazy.
Yeah, and I feel like when it comes to like first chapters for like any new series, like any series when they start, Kingdom's first chapter is probably up like top 2, top 3 for me all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you look at how much weight, like you said before, how much weight it holds afterwards as the story progresses. We're seeing some from Shin's side. Because honestly, when you read it the very first time, you would think like there's no way Shin's the main character. Just the way that Piao gave off this different vibe and everything. And then as soon as you see what happened at the end of chapter 1, it's like, oh, okay, we're riding with this guy now.
Yeah.
And I also like how they reintroduced when they introduced Jin and Tan, how they when they first got to their first taste of battle, they showed them actually struggling with having to kill people, which is a thing that I don't think we even really thought about. Like it's not just easy for everybody to go in and just start killing people.
Yeah.
So I think that was a dope aspect for Hara to like highlight.
And that's like they hadn't even rode horses at that time, right?
Yeah.
And then like
Yeah.
he just like jumped on a horse like it was nothing and started leading troops. Like that shit was crazy. Someone asked, had Shin left, or someone, not an ask, but someone said, had Shin left Kyokai with the rest of the men, they could have moved to assist Osen. that might be true, but if they had left Kyokai behind, Moten's plan would have been fucked. Because she's
Yeah,
the only
definitely.
reason why Shin actually managed to play his part, because she reminded him not to fight Bate. And then someone else said, "What are your thoughts on Kario 10? I feel like she needs to level up. She's always panicking." That is 100% true.
It is, but I
That is
feel like
100%
I
true.
understand why she's like this because it's more of like because realistically, even myself, when Molten was saying we got this and I know the plan and stuff, I'm thinking to myself, "You're my boy," but I just have this just thing in the back of my head saying, "I think you're a little crazy, bro. Like, yeah, you better have something worked out." So like I can see why Cario 10's like that because like she wasn't expecting whatever that plan was to actually like work out,
Yeah, but I
and the fact
mean,
that it did, it's like I don't know.
I understand her sweating and stuff, right? But the fact that she just completely closed off all options, like from the moment that she saw this happen, she's like, "Oh, there's no way from coming back from this. There's no way we can do this. It's
Yeah.
impossible." Blah blah blah. She just completely closed her mind. It was as if she was the one in the battle, seeing all of these people die. Like, you're meant to be the strategist. You're meant to rise above all of this stuff. Like, look
Yeah.
over the entire battlefield. Look at all your options. Like, she rushes to a conclusion too quickly, in my opinion.
I think that's
Yeah.
the thing with 10. I mean, she's growing. I feel like it's obvious that she's growing. But
Yeah.
people have to realize that 10 doesn't have that great of a confidence in her true abilities.
Yeah.
When we got first introduced to 10, remember when her and Moki was having a tabletop battles and they were having like a discussion. I forgot what exactly they were talking about. But 10 made a move and Moki noticed the move that she made, and he was amazed by the move that she made, but she didn't really realize how great of a deal the move that she made was.
Yeah.
Everybody gives 10 such high praise, but she doesn't understand her true potential yet. And I feel like she's so by the book and she follows so much by her sensei's teaching or what she's being taught. It's hard for her to really, at this stage, step outside of that yet. But you see, even when she did the bridge attack, she was like, she didn't think she could do it, and then she ended up, when she was pushed to the point of having to do something, she was able to come up with something. So I feel like when she gets more confidence, Dark Side trolling in the chat. When she gets
Oh, for sure he is.
when she get more confidence in herself, she'll be a force. But it's
Yeah.
gonna take time because she's still like 14, 16, bro. Some shit
Yeah.
like-
I was gonna say this though really quick before you continue, Ov, but like I was gonna just like mention, dude, let's say because Ten's like so annoyed by like how she kind of handled herself in the situation. What if we see a moment where she actually goes up to Osa and says, "Let me stay by your side for the next day so I can like learn from you."
Wait, sorry, say that again.
So basically, like 10, like because 10, like we know, like she was like really nervous and stuff about the whole situation, like and everything, right?
Yeah.
Let's say there's like a scenario where she decides to go up to Osen and says like, "Let me stay by your side, so that way I know I can get a better view of like the battlefield, so I know how to like improve myself, as a strategist."
See, that would be dope, but I kind of expect her to not need that now. Like the fact that Kyokai, she's not a strategist by any means. Like she's as much of a fighter as Shin is, but
Yeah.
she knew everything Osen was thinking throughout this whole thing. Like, well, I mean, I wouldn't say everything, but like every time Osen did something, right, and we were all thinking, "Oh shit, what's he doing?" Like, she answered the question, like with the Lotus stuff, right, or the Locust stuff, I think it was called. Yeah, like she knew all of that shit. Even 10 was thinking, "What the fuck is he doing?" Like,
Yeah.
I feel like she should be a bit better than she is now. Like, all right, so in terms of like her full potential, right, when she grows older, when she's at the best she can be,
Yeah.
is she better than Moten at this point or no?
What you mean when she gets the best that she can be? I feel like it's set that she will be like one of the top strategists in the history of strategy when it's all said and done.
Because now it's like when people are thinking like, will Molten be remembered as a strategist? Will he remember as a fighter, or like a mix of both? And if he's a mix of both, how high is that like the ceiling?
Yeah, because I feel like what he'll be remembered by I think that boils down to this war here. Like, if he doesn't get like a really memorable fight this war, I feel like he'll be remembered as a strategist more so, because right now he's winning all of his battles through strategy instead of like actual martial might. But like, if for example like 10, right, at her full potential, what would set her apart from say Moten or Ohan? Because I feel like Moten would be able to do everything 10 would be able to do, and he can fight as well, whereas 10 can't. Same with Ohan. Like, what would set her apart from these guys? Because there needs to be something.
Well, I just think just the probably the strategies that she's going to be able to implement in the future, that we would just be thinking so far outside of the box, and for her to be able to come up with them. I mean, because it's one of the six great generals. He made his claim to fame just purely off strategy. He wasn't a fighter like Oki or Caillou or something. So I feel like she can be along the same vein, if not better.
Okay. Yeah, someone says he doesn't put her over Moten. Do you think Osen defeats Zhao? He'll ask Issei to make him the king of Zhao. Oh, jeez, I didn't even think about that.
I remember I heard somebody talking about that before this arc started. They were talking about theories about that. I don't think so.
I mean, I feel like he'll turn on them. I think that's what I would.
I do think he'll do that eventually. I don't feel like it would be smart for him to ask him to make him king, because the whole point of this war is to be ruled by one king, right? So if you ask to be made king, you're basically directly opposing who you're working for. I don't feel like it'd be that stupid.
Unless he says, like, let's say, like, for example, let me be the one in charge of this part of the land. You know what I mean? Like you take care of whatever's going on in Kin, and I'll take care of like the Zhao places, just in case of, like I say, like if Yan or Ki or even like Chu decides to like come and try and take those lands. Because there's something that Darkseid was telling me, which is very interesting, and I could still. And Dustin, I know you're gonna go on me right away, but with Gakujo, because I found out. And this is actually pretty insane, that there's a little piece of land in between where Han, Chu, Ki, and where Yan is that could easily be a place that they could have sent Gakujo and those men there. Because if that little place was to be taken out by any one of those states, you have all those people running up afterwards towards where Katan is.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like this man. Yo. When he shows up, you're switching your name to Gakujo Reacts. You remember that?
It's kind of at this point, I kind of want him to show up just to see what you're talking about. I kind of want to see.
Oh my god!
But I think another thing that we kind of skipped over is the Ohan part, because I feel like it was things in comparison. The other parts were better. But if you just look at it from what it is, we had some hype ass moments with Ohan really declaring how he feels about the king and his vision. That was fucking hype. And then I like a little moment where he like Bate, not Bate, but what's that dude name? Bananji. When he was doing all that talking. You know, I love when Ohan does that. This shit he does, like he just like forget all that. He just immediately try to stab at him with his spear. Like, I love that shit. Like, he did that shit to Shin before. It's like, fuck all this talking that you're trying to do. Let's just get straight to it. Like, he just literally went for the kill shot right then. I mean, so like, it didn't start off the greatest when we first, like, the first chapter, I think it was like 524. But 525 and 526 were pretty fucking good. Yeah. And it's like, we cut away after that. It was like, damn, I kind of want to see more what about to happen with Ohan. Then we cut to you.
I was pretty happy we cut away.
Yeah, I know you were.
No.
I like
Laz leaves the Moten fanboys and he leaves the Ohan hate boys.
Why do you hate
Ohan? Let's see.
Because of just what he is.
I would have to make a video to tell you my reason. But no, it stems from like, I mean, it's stupid, but it stems from like what he said with Oki. You know, like your cousin dies, right? And then like you talk shit about him after the guy's dead, and it's like, I guess the way his arrogance comes across off, like if I had to compare it to a character, like it's almost like what Darkseid told me once. It's like with Vegeta. That's what he kind of reminds me of, like the arrogant, the prince for like the royalty. Like he's like this hot on airs, hot on wheels kind of stuff. And like, I just feel like he's set up in a way where he's going to have massive development in his personality. I just feel like I wish we could see more of that already instilled into this arc already. It's not like we have to wait until like down the line for him to actually be kind of like more liked. And I could get like he's that character who's going to be like that piece of shit that we're not, you know, you're always going to have a problem with them just because of the way he talks, the way he acts and stuff. And like, I guess that's just like the family he's born from. Whereas like Moten, it's like his personality, like it was very easy, like to like, you know, connect with, just because like, and not to mention the fact that like he kind of relates to like a lot of other people and stuff, and they come from maybe like a rich family, but doesn't, like, you know, he's not gonna come off as arrogant. Like he's always gonna be very humble, respected and stuff. So yeah.
Shout out to Brago in the chat.
Oh, he's late. Oh my.
Thinking like, speaking of the Ohan stuff, bro, you know the fight between him and Benanji. I really like that fight because I feel like Benanji's fighting style was really unique. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone like spear someone off of a fucking horse. Like, he just dived onto him. Like, that's some hand-to-hand combat kind of shit. Like, I don't remember ever seeing that in Kingdom, like hand-to-hand combat.
Except for Shin. I think it was more desperate with Rinko.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think it was more desperate though than Banaji's situation.
Yeah.
Banaji was more being impatient because he was trying to, you know, get up out of there. But Shin was more like, you know, he had to put Rinko on the same playing field as him.
Yeah.
Well, I
But
guess that's kind of what Banaji was doing too. But Shin was like more hurt, I guess I would say.
Oh, even Shin and Raido.
Righto.
Remember the Raido from what's his face from Conky's crew?
I don't know why the fuck I thought of Raiden from fucking Mortal Kombat when
you
you said
didn't say
Righto.
Raiden.
I know.
Oh, okay, yeah, that works too.
But nah, yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Shin's strong as fuck, bro.
I mean, dude, when we saw Raido, the punch he gave him back in the Kokyu Hills and stuff, I'm thinking there's no way he's gonna get up. But then the fact that he gets up and just uppercuts this dude flying, he's like, "Don't fuck with me." I'm just like, man. See, this is why Shin's the goat. Like,
Yeah, he had like Righto big ass back flipping backwards and shit or something.
yeah, this was
That shit was,
bro,
but by a punch, like that shit was crazy.
yeah. I'm like,
So what are we expecting from Conky? Like as far as
I don't know, man.
I don't think he's gonna take it that fast. I think it's gonna take him a little while to take it because they gotta. The thing is, they gotta lose their supplies first. Now I do understand when people are saying that maybe they'll think he'll make a move. He won't just rely on them. I mean, he won't just rely on that to get inside, which I can see that too.
yeah.
But I don't. I think because if they get word that he's taking Gayu, then it's over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like they can just retreat.
ask is like, how long did they say the food supply would last them exactly?
8 days, I think, or something like that.
Okay. And do we
Don't
expect
quote
the
me.
battle to go 8 days?
No, see, I feel like he's poisoning. I feel like he's poisoned them. Like he's got people in there that's like messing with the food supplies. Like when all of the people rushed into Gyo, I feel like when
Yeah.
Kanki was like sieging his cities, he snuck some of his men in there as well, and they're like tampering with the food supplies, poisoning the soldiers
Yeah.
that are in there, all of that shit. Like, there's no way that we're gonna like if this is all the shit that happened in the first day. God help everybody if we're fighting 8 days. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
No
shit.
one's surviving that shit.
Like, yeah, exactly.
No one's.
But if we get it all done in the first day, but that's the thing too. Let's say we get it all done like within the first like 3 to 5 days. Does Osen, Konki, and them, do they decide just go straight for Kantan, or they just start like right away? They'll start building up for Gyu because like I feel like the momentum would be so much on their side that they would have to kind of press forward.
Nah, they couldn't. They would have to build up in Gyo. Like they need to get the food
Yeah.
supplies again because they would be fucked if they tried to go to Kantan because like that's the capital, right? They can't.
Yeah,
Like if they're struggling so much with Gyo, they're gonna be fucked with Kantan, especially because he's got the elite soldiers back there as well. Wait, how long was it
Yeah.
that he said he could bunker down for if they were to all attack?
they said like at least between a decade or two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like
you ain't doing that shit right off the bat. Like it's not
very
happening.
true,
That would be fucking insane.
well, unless Laz's Kingslayer thing comes true.
I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
unless that
man.
happens.
It happened.
I feel like
Like-
that's what has to happen now, though.
Yeah,
'Cause
because I mean that's
it's
what I did my discussion on stuff. Like I said, like there could be two ways. Either Riboku talks to the kids that we seen in the tub and stuff with like Tojo, and he gets them to pretty much kill him. Like they're in the tub or something, and then
damn.
like all of a sudden we hear news like Yu's been taken. Of course, Tojo's gonna be mad about the situation, and he's gonna go to the throne room. But as soon as he stands up, the kids are gonna have knives as they get up from the water because they won't know they're concealing it, and they go and stab him. And the reason it works is because the council is on Riboku's side. Because look, they like I think Riboku waited for the moment that he said like, oh, I can care less about all these people, they could die and stuff, and it won't matter to me because I could be dead 2 years from like 20 years from now and stuff because of some terminal illness or whatever. It
Yeah.
could make so much sense. Like now, like Riboku's just waiting for like a moment where the king slips up, and now he can use it to his advantage.
Yeah, it's true. Someone asked if we can discuss the Shin Glaive developments this arc. Will he struggle? Will he lose a battle or be good right off the bat? What do you guys think about that?
I think he's gonna get better as he's fighting, like he does.
Yeah. I don't expect him to master it already. Even by the end of this arc, I don't expect him to master it. But like to get a grip of it, yes. But like, he like if he ever fight Hoken, I think he needs to go back to the sword.
Yeah.
Because I feel like with the glaive, like especially when Hoken's gonna come back with 2 arms, like this is gonna be a way different fight.
Yeah,
You
because
know, like-
someone asked. I mean, not someone asked. Sorry. Like, who would he need to fight to improve? Because there's like he can't really fight anyone top tier because he would lose. Like he's been shown to be struggling against fodder with it. Like he was taking unnecessary damage for no reason. So who would he actually need to fight to improve?
I think personally, I think it has to be Bate.
Okay, but
But Bate is
Bate
your
should
top
be able to
tier.
take him. Yeah, Bate should be able to take him.
But see, I think he has to fight a top tier. I don't think he should. I
Yeah,
think him fighting like let's say when he fought Fute,
Yeah,
yeah,
he should have died to Fute, but he was able to overcome his weaknesses by recalling something that Kyokai taught him, and he was able to overcome him
yeah,
being so open to Fute and figure out exactly what Fute was doing. Like Fute wasn't really that fast; he was just baiting him. So he
yeah.
was able to figure it out. I think he has to go up against someone like Bate that will force him to realize his flaws and correct it while he's fighting.
yeah. That's the fight I think of is Shin versus Rinko. That pushed him to his very limit. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like it would be that type of fight, but I don't feel like Bate is the one though. If anything, I
To
think he's
me,
more flexible.
I was telling one vision this earlier. To me, I
Yeah.
think that Moten kills Kisui and Shin kills Bate. But if Shin ends up killing Kisui, then Kyokai will kill Bate, and Moten won't get a kill from at least in this battle.
Well,
Because I don't
it's like
see Moten killing Bate. I really don't.
no, I don't either. It's got to be Kisui, but like the only thing I can see is like if let's say for example Kyokai or Rikusen gets Bate, right? Which I think it more or less might be Kyokai, and then you give Shin to you give Molten to Kisui. If we were to move to the center, you have like Kingmo or Gyeoun, who I want Gyeoun versus Shin, just because like I feel like with that fight we can also get some like inklings about like the relationship between Renpa and his former leader Shinjo. I feel like that would be a good connection too to see like one like a real top tier fight for Shin, and at the same time we get some like history between like Rempa and like his days in the Three Great Heavens,
Hmm. Well,
Well,
do
they
you?
did make mention that did was
like their sworn brothers. Yeah,
well, I'm talking about Rikusen. They said this chapter that Rikusen, like, was he ready to take command or something? So it would be interesting to see the Hashin unit go back to the center, and then we get Kisui taking out Moten and Rikusen taking out
Bate.
Bate.
Yeah.
Even though you kind of think it wouldn't happen, but maybe they're trying to give him some development because Moten's about to get bigger, and he has to have his own men, somebody out of his own
Yeah.
men, be bigger as well too.
And I feel like at the same time, like the Gakuka unit, I think really needs a lot of shine this arc, so that way, like they're not kind of like overblown by like Yugyoku units and then the Haitian unit. You know what I mean? Because like they've been absent from the story for like how long? So like for them to be on the same tier and stuff, they got to do something big. And I think this is the biggest you're gonna get right now to keep them in the conversation.
I agree.
Especially if we're comparing Rikusen, like I mean, the Gramps is a troll probably, so he's probably like gassing this boy up. But to compare him to Ohan, like as a challenge to the spear, like, like
I really wish we saw Rikusen fight in this like turnaround. Like I was really disappointed that we didn't see it because when Moten like he brought him into the plan so heavily, I thought we'd actually see like why he was compared to Ohan. Like even though he denied it, like it was said for a reason. Do you get what I mean? Like I really wish we got to see that. I hope we get another chance to see that later on in the arc.
yeah, definitely. I could see it maybe like day 2, day 3 is what we'll probably see like Rikusen go in, because then it's like after that, there's just too many top tiers for like for them to like to kind of give them that option, like
Yeah.
to step up. So I feel like now like this is the after this it's gonna be top tier fights in terms of like how many characters we're gonna get. So like this is the time for Rikusen now to get the shine he needs.
Yeah. How do you think Hara's gonna handle like time and the pacing of the next couple of days? Because like we've seen him in the past, right? He will show us like a full day, and then he would just like summarize a couple of days, and then show us another full day, and then summarize the next couple of days. Like, how do you think he's gonna work around this world? Do you feel like he's gonna show us everything, or are we gonna get some of
I
those
mean,
summary days?
I think we'll get summary days like you were saying before, and because I feel like considering how much time, like we was at chapter 519 when we started the first day,
Yeah,
like 518 somewhere around there, and then like we're at what 534. So
534. Yeah.
it's like yeah, so there's so much like that was taken care of in that one day, and I don't, it depends on how long, like again, like Kara wants to make the series like what 1,000 chapters something like that, or 100 volumes. So like because for the pacing reasons, I think summary would be best, so that way it's not too dragged on, because I can see a situation where the community's gonna be like, oh, this is taking too long, let's just get to the the fights and everything, right?
Yeah.
But then that's where like the best development of the story comes from. It's like if it drags on stuff, we understand why Hara's doing that, so that everything makes sense. So it's not kind of just like thrown out there in the wind.
And I kind of feel like you were saying because I was feeling that way with 533. Like it was a good chapter, but it was like, okay, I know how this chapter is going to end. I want to get to, because it's first they've been going, I want to get to some big fights or get to something. You know what I'm saying? I want to get the story moving. I want to get to, because I know this stuff is hype, but I want to get to the truly, you know, the really epic moments that we know are coming. And that's, you know, Osen making plays, Shin and them killing who they're going to kill, Yatanwa getting her 1v1. Like, I want to see that shit, you know.
So what
and
are
I just don't know.
to see moving forward then?
I would like to see Yatanwa fight Rozu and kill Shinsuiji, because I feel like he was marked for death once he did what he did. Even though it was great, it's still in exchange it gave him his life, because she gonna kill that man. And I want to see Ohan. I don't know who Ohan would take out on that right side. It could be a spear dude. It could be the other general that we haven't seen even move yet, or it could be Banani. Yeah. So I don't know. And then I mean, I just want to see some fights from, you know, all sides, and then I want to see Conky too. It's so much I want to see. It's just you don't know how long this arc is gonna be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like at the same time, I think Bananji has to be the fight though for Ohan, just because I feel like, because this is like one of the top guys for because let's say for an example, like what Moten's doing right now, like this is a big thing, like, you know, with Kisui, you know, he's turning the tide to the table and stuff, and this is probably going to be the big thing, like when they corner that whole left, they're going to be going straight for the center, and like Riboku's not going to have, he'll figure out what to do, but I think the timing is going to be like pressing on him. And then like the only thing I can see Ohan to match that would be to kill one of the closest people to Riboku, and if he kills like Bananji or like even Chogaryu, like that would be crazy to see. But I think Bananji, just because of what we're seeing, his feats and stuff, like imagine like Ohan kills that guy, a guy who literally cracks the ground from a punch.
That was
like,
crazy.
like that's like the fight with Earl Shi. That's always going to be a top 3 fight in Kingdom. But if you from a feat standpoint, it doesn't get any bigger than that.
If he straight out kills Bananji now, then I would put him so far above everyone else.
Oh yeah, like he would have to be in the top 10 for Kin, like in terms of like fighters. You know,
he's crazy. He's already, like, I already feel like he's stronger than Shin. If he does that as well, that'll just be insane.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't get why I don't get why people say that.
Why? What do you think? That like
I think Shin is obviously the most physically strongest out of the 3.
So when you say physically strongest, right, are you talking about just like in terms of how much he can lift?
I'm talking about martial might.
Okay.
Martial might. I think it'll be a high. I think Ohan and Shin will be a high diff. Because even we see the times where they just kind of, you know, go at it, like when Cho said they would stop flirting you two, how they were just going hard at each other. But I just don't think that Ohan is, like, I think if Ohan beat Shin, it would be on his spear technique. But Shin, I think Shin is physically stronger. Like, his blows would be more powerful when they strike at Ohan.
That's the same thing I feel like with Bananji, right? I feel like Bananji is physically a monster compared to Ohan, but he couldn't do shit against the spear techniques. Like, he was creating after images and shit. Like, that's how fast he was moving. Like, he kept him at bay to the point where he had to resort to taking it to a ground level fist fight.
Yeah.
Like, if
but at the same time, they did say that Ohan Spears got the same destructive force or even stronger than Earl Shi now, and that was strong as hell too.
Yeah, so that's insane. I think, I don't think Shin's handling that, especially not with the glaive. He's not doing that with the glaive.
Shin is the man, bro. Y'all know, y'all seen what this man does time and time again. Come on, man.
Bro, we still got to see Ohan use those swords as well, bro.
He was going up there with Gamo. Yeah, them swords. I'm convinced them swords are for decoration, bro.
I don't know why, but it has a weird feeling Ohan would be even faster with the swords.
Could you imagine? Holy shit.
Bro, like we're seeing like what Kyoka can do with her sword and stuff, but imagine putting like 2 in his hands.
Yeah,
don't
compare anyone to Kyoka. That's blasphemy.
Yeah, oh my god. You know what's crazy though? It's so many people that needs feats. Like, it's like the feet pie is hard. It's like the slices of
the feet pie.
The feet pie.
Like, for real, because like Kyoka needs a feat, Shin needs a feat, and it's Shin, so you know he probably gonna get 2 feats. He gonna get 2 slices of pie.
Yeah. I think he's 3 slices of pie too.
Yeah, might even 3. Osen needs a strategical feat at the least. You know, 10 needs a strategical feat, I believe. Yeah, then you got people that people might get feats that we don't even think would get feats, like Rika-sen or somebody else. So, you know, then Yatanwa needs a feat. Like, Baggio might get a feat.
Yatanwa was more of like a solidifying that feat pie. You know what I mean? Because like all the hype that we've seen from her, she has to deserve her pie pretty much.
So we coining feet pie for like future streams.
Yeah, let's do it.
Feet pie. Hashtag feet pie in the chat.
I've never
man.
heard that shit before. But I do agree though, like Yotanwa is in desperate need of a feat. Desperate.
Oh yeah,
Like,
definitely.
it's insane. Like she like people don't even where do people think she's at? Like where do you guys think she's at? Because I know certain
People
people in the
disrespect where
chat
she's
just
at.
yeah, they disrespect her heavily. Heavily.
Let me see. Are we talking like all of China? Or are we talking like just kin?
Let's talk kin. Just keep it easy. Easy.
Okay, because
Relatively
we
easy.
know Mobu's the current GOAT. I don't know if I'll send it to you afterwards, but there's like some info from the second data book that kind of confirms that Mobu is the strongest of all kin. Like in
Yeah.
terms of like China and like everything, like he has like the actual name now.
Yeah.
I think in
Wait, that
Quinn is
people
probably
already knew that though, right? That he was the strongest. Everyone
yeah,
already
yeah,
knew
but it's
that.
just like
Yeah.
solidifying it in the data book and stuff. But I would
I
say
agree with. Go
oh
ahead.
sorry,
Go
my
ahead.
bad. Oh no, I was gonna say like right now let's say it's Mobu, then Toe, and then I would say Yotamwa, but only because like we haven't really seen her like in the actual class. So I'll still put in the top three, but I'll put Toe just a little bit above her. I don't know where to put Osa and thing because we haven't seen them fight.
I
So
think
I
he has to
want
be strong, but I don't think he's that crazy. Like as far as them, as for all power. But for me,
yeah
I think it is. If to me, it's two lists. It's one with Shohei Kun and one without Shohei Kun. If you're counting Shohei Kun, I think it's Mobu, Shohei Kun, and Yotanwa. If you're not
yeah
counting Shohei Kun, then it's
Yo.
Mobu, Yotanwa, and Toe.
I like the Shoheiken list. Shoheiken's
yeah
one of my
'cause
favorite characters, bro.
yeah
He's so dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing too, man. Like just seeing his whole turn in the state of eye, that
Yeah.
I was waiting for that the whole time because especially like how it was kind of built up when Saitaku when he was kind of saying like, oh, like weren't you the same strength level as like Mobu back in the
Yeah,
day, and
that's
just like
even
just,
stronger.
just
Didn't he
little
say he was
things,
stronger?
even
Not even the
stronger.
same.
Yeah, he was stronger in their youth. Yeah,
That's fucking. I wish we saw that though. Like I want to see
yeah,
that time, like that era of Shoheiken.
It
yeah.
is a one shot
Crazy.
about that.
Oh, is
Yeah,
it?
but I
Yeah.
wouldn't recommend. I would not recommend that. I was told there's
Spoilers.
spoilers for
Oh,
history for
really?
history.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I
So
went to Kingdom Ends before I read that.
yeah,
Yeah.
But it's exactly what you're talking about, OB. It's like showing them at them times.
Oh, I want to
yeah,
read that now, man. How
Yeah.
serious
yeah.
are these spoilers?
They say
It's
it's
pretty
fierce.
nuts. It's pretty
They say
nuts.
it's
Apparently,
serious.
Oh
yeah.
man.
Because the only thing I can like I say like I know people in like Japan they post like not like fan art, but
Yeah.
it's almost like stuff kind of like resembling like their connection from back then as kids and stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if like we could see hints of it in the story. I mean, we're probably going to see in the story. It's just a matter of like how it's gonna be like drawn out and stuff. But I don't know.
People saying don't read it. All right, all right. I
Yeah,
won't read it. Shit.
like,
Yeah, they got me
I know
scared.
now I want to read it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna have to do a whole video. Thanks.
Oh shit,
God.
man. But nah, I like Shahikin's character. Well, oh
Yeah.
shit. What do you think this whole thing that Osen asked Shahikin for is? Like, 'cause we
Now-
still will see that.
I remember, I think Dustin, you were there too. Remember, I think it was JC said something along the lines of like Toe getting passage from like to Wei to be able to make it through
Jesus.
the Yellow River.
Jesus Christ? Who was JC?
JC XGA.
Who?
Do you remember JC? He's always in the chat and stuff. He always with the long paragraphs.
JC. Nuh-uh.
He has like the one that says JC, like his like avatar. It's like a J. It's just like the initials JC and there's a big X.
Mm-mm.
Oh
Was
yeah,
it
yeah,
him?
yeah. I know him. I know him.
Yeah. I think it was him because he put a thing saying like what it could have been like Toe had gained passage from like the Wei King because the whole like situation what happened like in the previous war, right? There's something like they could have used that and to their advantage and say, listen, we're gonna do something against Zhao, whatever, right? Like so you guys don't want to get fucked up, like just let us have passage or whatever. They could pay them off or something, right? And then from there we could see that could be the way like Retsubi gets taken over is if the supply lines and stuff are coming through Toe by taking Retsubi's. That way it gives it to Conky and then McGew, and then eventually that like helps them like reinforce themselves. So like the whole thing would take 3 years afterwards to go and challenge Katana. We could see that being reduced heavily to like a year or something just because of that.
Yeah, I feel like it would need to be reduced by a lot. Otherwise, yeah, because like after this fuck up, right? Wait, did the time increase after Osen decided to do this, or did it decrease? I can't remember.
Originally, it was said to be 10 years in total just to take
Yeah.
Kantan. By the time they take Gyu, from there, it would take 3 years to take Kantan.
Yeah, I feel like that time's gonna need to decrease.
Yeah, they can't afford that time based
Yeah.
off their original estimate of to take over the whole China.
Yeah.
Especially with Chu being so large. I mean, that's gonna take what 5 years at best within itself.
For
Yeah.
sure, man. Like, God, I can't wait for Chu. That's gonna be ridiculous. They got 1 million fucking soldiers. They have a Great Tiger Chu who's probably on the level of Mobu when we get to end of series. Like,
I wonder how they're gonna
Karen-
do this though, because you would have think that Shin is gonna be in every major battle that decides the fate of China, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't think a state is gonna be taken down without Shin being in the war. If
Well,
that makes sense.
definitely.
I
just don't.
I disagree. I disagree. I feel like that like one thing I like about some stories is when things happen regardless of whether the main character was there or not. Like one thing I do
Yeah.
like about One Piece is like although it gets off screen a lot of the time, is the fact that shit's happening in the world without Luffy being directly involved in it. And I hope Hara does like have some of these wars go down without Shin being there, because like Shin isn't always gonna be in every single battle. Like he's just a soldier at the end of the day, unless he actually reaches like to the status of, you know, one of them generals that need to be everywhere because they're just that good. Like unless he
Yeah.
reaches that status, I don't think he'll be everywhere.
It's almost like an Oki kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think he will. I mean, he's going to reach that status.
By
That's
end of
obvious.
series, definitely, yeah. But
But I feel
same.
like, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say like the same thing too. I can also see is that like the other states get a piece of the pie as well. Like in terms of like they're like, let's say like Chu goes after like Han or Wei against, you know what I mean. So it's not always like every time it's like Kin taking out each state, because like no one's gonna be sitting back the entire time. Well, especially right now against Zhao, like we can argue and say like Zhao's like within the top 3 states in all of China.
Yeah, definitely.
Like we have to say it would be Chu number 1. I would say like they're neck and neck, Zhao and Kin. So like for the two of the top 3 to like fight each other right now, all these other states can be like, bro, we're not gonna let you like, you know, do what you want. It's like we're gonna go after these other states. Like,
So do you feel like do you feel like we'll see another coalition? Sorry, Dustin.
That's what I was actually about to say.
Oh.
Because
yeah,
if the board, if when Quinn takes down Zhao, the board is gonna be fucked up for the entire country.
Yeah, for everything.
So why would they fight amongst each other when Quinn is getting bigger? Why wouldn't they try to attack Quinn again? Because they're gonna be the biggest threat at that point in time.
well, here's the thing: we have what 7 states exactly, and if say Zhao
Yeah.
goes down, it goes to 6. I propose.
And then you can't even really count Queen because they're already surrendered to Quinn,
Yeah.
basically.
Well, here's what I'm gonna say now. What if they do a 3v3?
Ooh.
3 states versus 3 states.
Yeah. So what I propose is doing Qin, Yan, and Qi versus Wei, Han, and Chu. They do an attempt where they lose casualty, like casualties will be made and stuff, right? Some parts of lands will be taken, not all, like not all the states have to be taken down, but like we could see something where it's a 3v3, and then that's where we kind of get a measure of where everyone's at pretty much, and then eventually it leads to them later on taking each other out one by one.
It's possible. I mean, I really just don't know how hard. Like I know he's gonna do it, but I just don't know how,
Yeah.
because it seems like it's so difficult because there's really not that many states. So are you gonna have it just be like each war state gets taken out? If so, it's not that many wars left. But at the same time, it would make sense if he's going 1,000 chapters, because I think a war arc at the most should be like 100, 120 chapters.
Yeah,
So that would
something
make,
like
that would kind of make sense time wise. I just don't know how he's gonna.
Yeah, especially a coalition, it would have to be 100 plus chapters.
Yeah.
You know, especially if it's like a 3v3, you're probably thinking maybe 200, even 200, I think, because like you know how much land we would have to like travel and stuff to each battle. Like,
Did you cut out?
Wait, you cut out.
no, I stopped.
Oh.
Okay. Damn.
I'm just like, I'm
I'm,
That was like
I'm,
a-
I'm waiting for
That
it.
was a
Like,
that was a bad
That's,
one.
that
My
stop was so abrupt
Yeah.
that you thought he cut out. Like, God
I was
damn.
having
something
some
like you were
pie.
still
My bad.
mid-sentence.
bad. Oh man.
Oh shit, man. But yeah, just quickly taking it back to like the first day of war real quick, or well, the end of the first day of war. I feel like we're gonna get like this whole tent scene now, right, where they have their after battle briefing or some shit where they brief everyone on the next day, and we're gonna see like we've already seen Raboku setting up his board for day 2. I feel like we're gonna see Osen setting up his day, but what do you feel like his, I don't know if I've even asked this already, but what do you feel like his battle plan will be for the next day? Now that he's lost Marco, because he's lost his left-hand man, right? Like, that's a heavy hitter.
Here's the weird thing I'll say on this. I think he's already planning the next step, like going to like Catan. Because I think whatever his plan was for you, everything's still intact. even with the loss of Mako, I think he also like calculated what losses he could have, and he already thought of, okay, if I lose this, I can do this.
I
You know what I mean?
mean,
So I think he's so far ahead in his strategies and stuff, man.
that kind of would explain why he didn't go to help out Marco's side.
Yeah.
Even like, I'm sure he saw everything that was going down, or at least heard about it. But like, do you really feel like he's that far ahead of Raboku? Like, I don't feel like he can do that against Raboku. If this was like a normal general he'd be fighting, then yeah, I think that he could be that far ahead. But I feel like Raboku should at least be able to mess things up for him enough to the point where he can't plan more than a day ahead.
Yeah.
I think he is that far ahead, bro.
Yeah.
Because the reason I think that is because my bad, Laz. The reason I think that is because when Osen decided to make that move to go deeper into Zhao's territory,
Yeah.
from the outside looking in, it's like he's doing a lot of trusting. He has to trust that Yatam was going to hold her battlefield. He has to trust that Konki is going to take Gao. And I don't think that Osen is as trusting as it seems that he is on the surface, because I feel like he has some contingency. That's something that we can't see. I could be overhyping it. I could be wrong. Maybe he really trusting, but I just don't feel like from the impression that we got from him. I feel like he's always been presented to us as a calculated person.
Yeah.
He always has these things set out. So it would be shocking to me if he's been presented that way, but now he's just trusting that all these guys are going to do. You know, it's just too risky for Osen's character, as we've been shown. Like Konki even said, he does not fight battles that he does not know that he can win for a certainty.
Yeah. But that's
once he made that move.
I agree with you, right? Like the fact that he's not that trusting. But then that's why I say that he can't be this trusting of people and have contingency plans for everybody's fuck ups, as well as be so far ahead that you're planning on like attacking the next city. Because like when you feel like if Raboku is as good as he is of a strategist and a leader, like you shouldn't be able to like count him out so easy, because that would basically just be counting out Raboku. Like, oh, he ain't gonna fuck me up enough to the point where I have to like redo someone's mistakes. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
I get what you're saying, but
I can factor in two things. My bad. I was gonna say, because the two things I'm gonna factor in, like the first thing, like remember Koshu is the one who said where he was before and stuff, he could be at the level of the 6th grade generals.
Yeah,
and like he's already I think he's already at that level, if not probably above that, just by the way the hype is going. But we also got to factor in too, like Raboku doesn't have control of those elites, which we know if he has that, this ball game is completely in Zhao's territory. And like the fact that he doesn't have those, like look what he's doing right now without them and stuff. Like he's not using the full capabilities of what he could do if he has the amount of men, the amount of trust from everyone and stuff to do what he wants to do. Like he's basically working on make scraps kind of a thing, you know, with his plans and things. So like I could see why like it's not working out. But at the same time, from Osen, not to take away from him, like the hype that we were getting from Koshu and stuff, I would have to expect that, because if Koshu was able to do that, like, you know, all the stuff to get his name and everything, right? Then what Osen's doing right now, I mean, like Koshu could probably did the same thing back then. You know what I mean? Like, so I wouldn't assume it like, you know, it's just pulling rabbits out of his hat. Like this is what a strategist would do. Like you would have to be, I think you would have to be on that level where you're thinking almost like a week in advance for like anything like in your life, you know?
Yeah, but wait, I just want to quickly say this, Dustin, before you say your point. Like you brought up the whole argument that Osen is 6th grade general level, right? But wouldn't you then put Raboku on that same level?
Yeah, I think Raboku is on the same. I think Raboku is still ahead of Osen a bit until Osen proves what he can do as far as up against the Raboku. I mean, I feel like I'm trusting Osen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I have, you know, I trust that he could, just off what his character has been presented, that this is what he have up his sleeve. I mean, I don't know what he asked Shoeiken for, but he did. What we know from Osen, people constantly drilling us in his head. He doesn't fight battles that he doesn't know he can win. And, you know, just keep reiterating that through characters. And for him to decide to go deeper into their territory, which everybody thought was a foolhardy move, from Karen to Raboku, everybody said once Quinn decided to go deeper in, they were done. For him Osen knows that too. So it has to be something. I don't know what in the world it could be, honestly, but it has to be something that he has that assures him that he is not going to lose.
The only thing I can propose is he has the Rinnegan. But aside from that, the only thing for that, I don't know what.
Yo, that shit would be crazy. Like, Oh my god! If Hara ever drew that in, that would be insane.
Yeah.
Yo, if
Can you-
BDV's watching this, make it happen, bro.
Yeah. Could you imagine like the first time he takes off the helmet, he has like the third eye, kind of like what Madara.
That
Like-
should be insane.
He's like, I saw everything. Like,
Oh shit! All right, so judging by all the things that have happened in this day of war, who do you think took it? Who took the W today?
Molten.
Moten.
I mean, I'm
No.
like sides, like Quinn or
Oh,
Zhao.
okay. Oh, well, I think we're looking. I don't know. I say it was a draw.
Really?
I
Yeah.
can't say that. Like, it's a hairline win for Kin.
Really?
Considering like they,
I'm the so we're on all different sides of the. I'm saying Zhao won this one today.
well treated right. Because I
Wait,
mean,
say
like,
that again, you
at
cut
that
out,
point,
you
like,
cut out a bit. I didn't hear what you said.
I'm saying like for them, like, because considering the situation that we're with Mako and stuff, I felt like Kisui and Bate should have just ran forward and like take them out. Considering the numbers of advantage and stuff, like regardless of like who you're up against, like that's an opportunity you don't want to waste.
They
you
tried
know?
though. They did try.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. That's where the W comes for Kin. Like they were able to take this. They were. It was almost like you're in like the 11th round of a boxing fight. You're on the ropes. You're about to get knocked out. All of a sudden, you've been sent flying back afterwards, and you win by decision. You know what I
But
mean?
could you really call that taking a W though? Because all Quinn did is they prevented themselves from taking further losses instead of taking a win.
Well, it was a W because if they didn't do that, this war would have been forfeited, like Moten said.
Yeah,
the reason I
that's-
say
that's
the
not
reason
a
I say
W,
it's a
though.
stalemate. The reason I say it's a stalemate is because because Zhao Kid Malku was one of Quinn's generals, so that's an effective blow just in of itself. But at the same time, Quinn found somebody even better than Maku was, and he's gonna now can make strategies planned around that, around Moten from the future, because now you have somebody that's even more capable than who you lost.
But here's the thing though, I don't feel like it works like that. Because like, okay, you've got someone that's even more capable than what you lost, but you had that anyway. So you're still losing something. Like you had that person anyway, but now you've got one less person. Like if this was just like an average soldier, right? Like 1 of 1,000, and you like they lost 2 soldiers, but then they had 1 soldier that managed to kill like 5 others. Like I know that sounds hella retarded, but like the win-loss ratio is in your favor. But with this, when you're losing 1 general that's in command of thousands of men, like that's different, because then now, say if Quinn were to attack from 2 separate sides, before they could have said, all right, Moten, you take this, and Marco, you take this. But now they don't even have the option to delegate Marco to a certain situation. Like they're left open. It's like if you're playing a sport, right, and you lose a guy. Like that's one person you can't keep in check on the enemy team for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
But I feel like Quinn has better personnel still. I mean, because they have Kyokai, they have Shin, they have Moten, they have Ohan, they have Aku. I feel like they just still have, and then they have better personnel. So I don't feel like Maku is as big as a loss as it may seem. I think the reason Maku's death was important was because it was going to collapse his whole entire army with him. But with with his army not collapsing with him, then it doesn't make it as big of a loss as it is. It's just you lost somebody. You lost a general. It's a general head. You can't downplay the value of a general's head.
Yeah.
But the army didn't collapse. The army has still been salvaged, and now they could be possibly under Moten's direction.
But
and now Moten's side is his original on day 2. He should have more than of men on his side, on the left side, than he had when he started.
Yeah, but they did lose considerable amounts though.
They did, yeah.
I mean, they did, and then Bao was saying, too, like in the right side as well. Like Zhao had lost a lot of people too because of Akko. So like, but the only other thing I was gonna say too, is like, I don't know how you guys were feeling about.
Oh shit! Yeah, hold on, wait. Sorry to interrupt you. Technically, Zhao also gained Rozo. Yeah,
now, are we talking
now you're
Shukai,
thinking.
Yeah, now are we talking about just the Shukai Plains or like everything the first day?
No, we're talking about everything in the first day.
And we're talking about everything.
Yeah,
I think it's still a stalemate. I think it's a stalemate.
Okay, if we're talking the Shukai Plains, I still say it's Kin, but now you put this in.
Because that's what I'm saying. Like
We
Zhao
can't
gained
fully
and Quinn
comment.
lost. Zhao gained and Quinn lost.
We can't fully comment on that either because we don't know if we're coming about the whole battlefield, we don't know exactly what happened conclusively, other than just the left side.
Yeah. Oh,
All right, but
man,
I'm talking about in terms of what we've seen, though. In terms of what
Yeah,
we've
but
seen.
what we seen, the right side was in a stalemate, and what we seen from the Yatama's battlefield, she was able to salvage a bit of her situation, but she was still
Yeah.
outnumbered. But we don't know how the day ended, so we don't know. We can't conclusively say who is more of what. From what we saw, I mean, I don't know. That's why I say it's a stalemate. I mean, I guess if you could, for argument's sake, I
Yeah.
guess you could say Zhao came out a little bit ahead, but they still failed.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing too, because it's like if Yotama wasn't able to reassure herself that she could be able to handle the situation, and like she was on the run the entire time, then it's like to give Zhao the edge on this day. But like she was able to turn things around. She has an idea of what she wants to do, and like you were saying, Dustin, like we have to know what's going on there. Not to mention like from the way the right side, it's like hey, they lost a lot of people, but now we're seeing like Bananji going in with Ohan, like that makes it tough. And then the only other thing I was gonna say before, it's like with Kisui, I feel like it's a rookie mistake because
Yeah.
remember how like with Kisui we knew like this is like we can assume that I think this is the first time he's ever competed outside of Ragan because he spent like his entire time like fighting within the region of Ragan, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like he doesn't have that familiarity or like that like he's like he knows those areas and stuff or what to do in a situation. So I feel like in a way too it's like a rookie's blunder pretty much. Like if he had that experience, so like in those battles where he isn't always in the same area, I think it would have been a different outcome because he's more assured. He understands the lands a lot more instead of just getting like a rough idea given to him by Roboku. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like because
Yeah,
he
I get
even
what you're
like
saying.
even when we saw him, he didn't look that assured. Like the first time, where like when we were about to go to battle, he never looks assured when he's not in a Ragan.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't feel like. See, I'm confused myself because on one hand I want to say Zhao's winning, right? Not winning, but as in they took the W today.
Yeah,
But then when
yeah,
when I look at it objectively, they kind of didn't. Because then when you think that without actually wiping out the whole of Marco's army, they haven't made enough of a dent into Kin's forces yet to save Gyo. Because remember, Gyo's on a timer, so like they need to do this before the timer runs down. But then, if you think that this could take 8 days for Gyo's resources to deplete, then this loss of Marco on the first day could be enough. So I don't know whether to say it was a W or the fact or a stalemate. I know Kin didn't come out on top. Like I can say that with certainty. I don't think Kin came out on top. It's either a win for W or a win for W, a win for Zhao or a stalemate in my opinion.
Well, to be honest with you, a way you can say that this every day that Quinn doesn't allow Zhao to get past him, it's a W for Quinn. Because that's
Nice.
the objective is not the objective for Zhao is to annihilate the Quinn. The objective for Quinn is not to annihilate Zhao, it's to hold them off so Conky can take go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the
They
same
got two different
time,
objectives.
every day that Kin don't take Gyo, it's a loss for them because they're running out of resources too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Zhao's in the same situation as them. And it's more critical
No.
for
Zhao aren't in the same situation as them. Gyo
Well,
is.
they
only
are.
Gyu's in
No,
the same
it's just
situation, not the
Gyo,
others.
not the others. The others can get their resources. It's just Gyo. Gyo is the only thing in the same situation.
Yeah.
No, because aren't they trying to wait? I don't. Hold on.
Because remember, Roboku and them lot have their supply lines. They can go back to Kantan if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
They've
The
got
only
their
thing is if
supply
he
lines.
goes back, Tojo's gonna like have a sniper out for him. So like that's the thing. You want to go get some snacks, like okay, you're gonna catch a bullet between your eyes, like
And we're not
Yeah.
even factoring in, like, I know a lot of people don't expect to see these guys fight in this war, but if Shibasho decided to turn up and fight, if Hoken came out of nowhere, like,
Oh man.
yo, this shit can get serious real quick. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
wanted
I gotta double down. Osin got this bag, bro, because
Yeah.
he forcibly cut off his own supply line. Told him not to send him anything more.
yeah. I mean,
He's from the outside looking in. It's like he's put in a suicidal situation,
yeah.
and he's just too smart for me to believe that that's what it is. So he got in the bag.
But
bro.
see, that's the thing
I
though.
was
Like, you can say that he's too smart for him to do this and not win, right? But then I would think the same thing. Like, I feel like Roboku's too smart to allow him to win in that situation.
Yeah.
But I think Roboku is doing. I think Roboku's flaw is that he underestimates his opponent.
It's that too, and like he's not using the full resources that he should have in this battle. Like he's getting like I was saying before, he's making do with scraps at this point.
Yeah, but I mean, so is Osen. He should have had Retsubi at least, but he doesn't have. He's missing a whole
Yeah,
fucking city, plus his supply
it's
lines.
like it's like a treasure man. Like those guys you see on the beaches and stuff looking for treasure. I think he's just waiting for the noise to get bigger and bigger until he finds out what he wants.
Yeah.
But what the hell was the other thing I was gonna say? I forgot. Freaking, I'll get back to you.
Okay. So I'm seeing Osem over Roboku in the chat. If anyone else is watching
Oh,
this stream
I found
afterwards,
it.
let me know who you guys think is actually winning, Osen or Roboku. What were you gonna say,
Yeah,
lads?
I figured it. Okay, so you remember at the end of Bio, right? The very first night, how like Hoken just showed up.
Yeah.
Oh god, you don't remember where I'm going with this, but I feel like we're probably gonna see him show up soon.
Oh,
Like
that would be
actually within the
dope.
first night.
That would
Because
that
it
would be
look
dope.
kind of correlation, kind of like with like what we saw back in Bayou. If he shows up here, oh
Yo,
my!
if
Can you
yeah,
imagine like
if
he's
that
just
happens
roaming?
and then we see Shin and Kyokai versus him again, like a time skip version.
Yeah,
Oh, that would
yeah.
be dope. That would
Bro,
be
because
so
the
dope.
way I see it is, we so jokes. Like we see, like because of Shin, right? He's probably gonna go take a piss in the forest, and then he's gonna see in the trees, like deep in, he's gonna see Hoken cutting down trees, and he's probably gonna go chase him down. I just have this weird feeling it'll be something
Yeah, man.
like, could you imagine, bro? Like, and then Kyoko's like, oh, where did this guy go? And then he just hears like trees like falling down and shit.
Oh, that'd be crazy. See, shit like that just makes me want an anime even more.
Yeah, because like that's the thing. I expect like Hoken to be at the point where he can grab a tree from the ground and start swinging away. Like he doesn't need like
Oh my
full
god.
glacial. I expect it, bro. Like I expect him. I expect Mobu. I expect Gaimo to do it. Like
Really?
If niggas grabbing trees out of grounds, you can't beat that.
you can't. Yeah, bro, and then if they cut that thing, like what?
Damn, bro. Alright, yeah, this
Oh my
stream's gone
God.
on for an hour and 14 minutes now. I'm gonna wrap this up soon. Anything else you guys want to say?
Molten the God, he's the goats. Future is looking bright for Kin, and all hell Olsen.
Yeah, I concur. Osen got this in the bag.
Yes,
Okay. Well, I just
and
don't think to
Gakuno's
see
gonna
it.
Conky, don't get it twisted though. I know there's been Osen heavy, but Conky is still a goat. It's
yeah, I have to agree with that, Dustin.
not-
I hope
Thank
we
you.
do see Conky's point of view quite soon. Like
Yeah.
now that the first day is done and all that hype is behind us, I feel like we can. Because the reason why I didn't want to see it before is because I feel like it would just be killing the hype if we got all of the hype shit and then you got Kanki fighting fodder. Because there's no named people over there, right? So I don't think anyone really
Yeah.
wants to see that yet. But now that the first day is
Styles
over,
comment in the chat.
what did he say? I expect Hogan to be throwing elephants. Oh my god!
Goddamn.
If not, I'm dropping Kingdom.
No, that's gonna be Karen,
Yo,
man.
those
Kara's gonna
elephants
be
were
kicking
massive
elephants.
though. Those elephants are massive.
Yeah.
They're not like normal elephants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I expect Karen's gonna be kicking them and shit. Like,
OV, you want to tell the people exactly what this is that we're doing and how it's gonna be going forward?
Yeah. So basically, this is our live from the Battlefield series. It's basically mine and Dustin's series, and every time we're gonna have maybe one or two guests on with us where we just talk about what's happening in Kingdom. And I feel like I don't know if we actually thought of a time schedule or something. I feel like we're gonna be doing either every 4 chapters, every 8 chapters, or like every significant time period. I don't know, like for example, today's one is the first day of war. I feel like we should do day 2 of war as well, or something like that, however long that lasts, some shit like that. And it's going to be alternating, so this time it's on my channel, next time it will be on Dustin's channel. A link to that will be in the description, as well as with Liza's channel as well. So definitely go check those 2 channels out in the description below at the end of this video. And yeah, so that's basically what it is. It's basically an alternating series between mine and Dustin's channels. Anything else you want to add to that?
Devil legs a bitch.
wow.
Shout out to Devil.
You always do that shit.
No, shout
Yeah.
out to Double Leg though.
Yeah, shout out to Devil. But yeah, thank you guys for joining the stream. I appreciate you, Commodore Laz and Dustin Reacts, for joining me with this one. And everyone in the chat, man. I love you guys. Thank you for joining. And yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.